is October 6th, 2025. We are just 5 days into water year 2026, and the numbers are sobering. The surface elevation of Lake Powell, based on the last reading, stands at approximately 3,040 or 35 feet above sea level. Let's contextualize that. Full capacity, or full pool, is feet. That means Lake Powell is currently sitting 155.65 feet below full and holds just 27.66% of its total storage. To put this into a year-over-year context, the lake is down a massive 33.42 feet compared to this exact date last year. That decline underscores the sheer difficulty the system had holding water this past summer. The number that keeps water managers awake at night is the minimum power pool, MPP, the critical elevation of 3,190 feet. Below this, Glen Canyon Dam can no longer reliably generate hydropower. Today, we have a buffer of 54.35 feet above that critical threshold. This buffer is absolutely necessary, but its continued shrinking is the primary driver of all policy decisions. Why did we fall so far? It wasn't because of a catastrophic lack of snow this past winter. Our snowpack was actually above average at 103.13%, and total precipitation was 103.51% of average. The culprit, again, is the thirsty soils effect coupled with extreme heat. After years of chronic drought, the soil in the upper basin acts like a giant dried-out sponge. When the snowmelt arrived, the ground absorbed the water, or it evaporated faster than it could reach the river. The stream flows into the lake were drastically below forecast, meaning all that promised moisture never made it into Powell's bank account. And look at how water year 2026 is starting. In its first 5 days, total releases from Glen Canyon Dam have exceeded total inflows by over 20,700 acre-feet. In that short time, total storage has already fallen by 22,010 acre-feet. We are bleeding water at the start of a new water year, emphasizing that the system is currently running on a structural deficit. This deficit will only be compounded as the annual required release volume of 7.48 million acre-feet, MMAF, continues over the next 12 months. For those of you hoping to get out on the water, the current elevation means conditions are difficult. We are seeing continued dedication from the National Park Service to keep access open, with the costly dredging of launch ramps like Waweep. But with water levels over 155 feet down, the vast majority of the side canyons and the dramatic scenery they hold are now high and dry. The true immediate threat, however, remains the power grid. Glen Canyon Dam's turbines are operating with significantly less head pressure, meaning our power generating capacity is dramatically reduced, often operating at less than 50% of its full potential. The shortfall is filled by higher cost, less environmentally friendly sources, which translates directly to higher energy bills for millions of residents across the Western power system. Every foot the water level drops is a measurable economic hit to the region, and it fuels the urgency of the policy decisions now being made. The Bureau of Reclamation has confirmed that Lake Powell will operate in the mid-elevation release tier for water year 2026, requiring that annual release of 7.48 million acre-feet to flow downstream to Lake Mead. This is non-negotiable for system stability in the near term, but the 800-pound gorilla in the room is the post-2026 operating guidelines. The current rules expire at the end of next year. The 7 basin states are in high-stakes negotiations to write the new framework for sharing a river that simply doesn't have enough water. The major proposal on the table, and the most realistic one, involves shifting to a supply-driven approach. This means water releases would be based on the actual amount of water Mother Nature provides, not on the historic and often inflated legal allocations of the 1922 Compact. Finalizing this complex, politically charged agreement before the deadline is the single most important task facing the West today. Let's look forward to it. Based on this October 6th data, here is our analysis for the path of Lake Powell. The current elevation of 3,544.35 feet, combined with the 20,000 acre-foot deficit in the first 5 days of this water year, means we are very likely to see a continued, steady decline throughout the fall and winter months. We anticipate the lake will drop toward the 3,525-foot mark, the threshold for the lower mid-elevation release tier, by the end of calendar year 2025. This winter's snowpack will be critical, but the thirsty soils remain a major obstacle. The 3,190-foot minimum power pool remains a high probability event for late 2026 or 2027 if two things happen. First, if the upcoming 2026 runoff is also inefficient due to heat, and second, if the basin states fail to establish a post-2026 agreement that mandates significant water use reductions. The status quo is not sustainable. A 33-foot drop in 1 year proves that. Only a legally binding, supply-driven system can keep the dam operating reliably for the long term. The current elevation of 3,544.35 feet is a stark reminder the chronic drought continues. We are still firmly in crisis territory. To stabilize Lake Powell and secure the West's future, we need structural changes in water usage, codified in the post-2026 guidelines. We will continue to track these levels daily. If you want to stay ahead of the drought and understand the policy that shapes the West, please hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below. At what elevation do you predict Lake Powell will be on January 1st, 2026?